Yes sir, what is going on YouTube? It is your boy D Nolly, aka Don Squally, and we are back at it with another Forza Horizon 4 build video, man. In this one, we are taking your requests. I had a couple of requests for this one on a couple of our videos that we uploaded recently on the channel, man, so I figured it was about time to answer your requests. But this request specifically is coming from Kid Cave 456, D'Angelo Lopez, Bat Fox, McLaren vs. Lambo, Armin Pro 1, Chris Plays OMG, and Arnold Gabe U all want to see Alex Choi's Widebody BMW M2 drift build, man. Now, I'm not gonna lie, didn't even know this car existed until you guys requested it, which is one of the reasons that I love taking these requests. Just puts me up on new YouTubers and new builds that are out there that I should know about. But what we're gonna do for today's video is jump into the buy car section here, obviously, jump into the BMW section, and we're going to see if we can replicate this 600 horsepower M2 drift missile. Now, it looks like we got the M2 coupe here. Now, I know in Horizon 3 there was an M2 Horizon edition, but I'm hoping we can get the wide body kit on this M2 coupe right here. And I am going to start out with one of the manufacturer colors. Don't mind that blue there. Let's go ahead and buy this car up. And now that we own it, it's time to do a couple of modifications here. So we're going to jump into the upgrades and tuning section. Now, first and foremost, I want to see if we can get that wide body kit. Doesn't look like it is an option for us right here. So I'm going to see if maybe I can buy a version that has the wide body kit here. Alrighty, so it looks like there isn't actually an M2 in this game that you can wide body. So what I ended up doing is just upgrading this a little bit to the M4, which, if I'm not mistaken, is a similar engine, just a bigger car. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we do in fact have the option for the wide body kit. So I'm gonna go ahead, do that up, because I do want this car to look cool, and I want it to you know, obviously resemble the original build as much as possible. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, no wide body M2 in this game. We are going to leave the stock power plant as well as the stock drivetrain, since this is a drift build. And now we are going to jump into the custom Aero section. This thing does need a big ol' wing. Now, Alex does have a trunk mount wing, but it does mount to the back side of the trunk, which I really like. I think that's a nice touch. Unfortunately, we can't get that due to limitations set by Forza here. But I think that wing is going to suit this build just fine. Obviously, we're going to throw on those race tires. You guys know how I feel about tire compounds and drifting. Just think you got to overpower them tires when you put the big ones on, man. That's all it is. Now, when it comes to the rim style, I'm going to take a second and try to find the wheel that I think resembles the wheel that Alex has on his car here. So I'm thinking these 1552s here are pretty much identical to what Alex has on his M2. So I'm going to go ahead and buy these up. Obviously, we're going to have to paint them black. And I think that the diameter here is looking pretty good, so I'm not going to go ahead and change anything there. Now, as far as the drivetrain, clutch, we are going to go and upgrade. Transmission, we're just going to do a little bit of minor upgrading here, and obviously, because of drift build, we're going to upgrade the race differential as well. Now comes the fun part, the suspension. We are going to slam this thing on the drift springs and dampers, which I don't know why Forza hasn't figured it out yet. At this point, we're probably running coilovers, full adjustable. So we're going to go ahead and actually select them. Anti-roll bars, both front and back. I don't know why I keep missing these, man. Anti-roll bars, both front and back here. And we are going to leave the weight reduction the way that it is, but we are going to put in a, I believe this has got a half cage, but I'm going to go ahead and just put a full cage because you can't really see that back part of the cage there, which Alex definitely has on his car. And now comes the fun part. We're searching for 600 horsepower with a bunch of mods here. Custom exhaust, stage 2 turbo, intercooler, just a bunch of good mods here. So we're going to go ahead and do a couple of upgrades here. Exhaust, intercooler here, we're going to go ahead and upgrade. And now the turbos, stage 2, we're searching for about 600 horsepower, which is right around 450 kilowatts. So we're going to go ahead and upgrade the turbos all the way, and then do some ignition and some fuel system to get where we need to be on this car. So I'm happy with the way this build is turning out so far. We're going to go ahead and install this setup on the car. Minor 67,000 credits, which is a small price to pay to bring this car where it needs to be. Now obviously the tuning, we're gonna get a little bit of work here. Now this the springs and the alignment I think are gonna be pretty good. Just want to upgrade the differential as well as the brakes. I'd like to have a little bit more braking power because I know this thing is gonna be a handful, and we're gonna apply this setup. And now that we got that out of the way, we need to jump into the designs and paint section here. And I think we're just going to go ahead and paint this car ourselves. Now, for those of you guys who are familiar with this car, this has a very nice yellow paint job on it. Now, if you guys have watched Alex Choi's videos on YouTube, you will know that this thing did have the carbon fiber fenders just kind of exposed. But recently, if you're following him on Instagram, you will know that he actually wrapped the carbon fiber fenders to match the car. So what I want to do is just kind of fine tune this color here. We need a little bit more orange in here, and it needs to be quite a bit more bright. But I think that is looking pretty good right there. So we're going to go ahead and add that color. And of course, the wheels got to be black, man. Black those 1552s out right there. And of course, we got to throw some nice dark tint on this thing. And of course, this big old wang, got to paint that black as well. Now, as far as black accents go, I'm just going to apply a couple of decals to the front, because I do notice there's a couple pieces on our car that are not accented in black. And that's going to be these little sections down here. So I'll just take care of those real quick. And now that we got all of that stuff out of the way, I think this thing is ready to hit the road here. And I can't lie, I'm pretty interested to see what this thing can do. But before we get it out on the road, let's see if we can get a nice little 360 here. Looking fresh with that yellow paint, doggy, I'm not gonna lie. Banking that red line, and we are already sideways. Not even 10 seconds into our drive here, folks. That's what I'm interested in. Seeing how much we can get this thing sideways without getting, you know, in the cabbage, putting her in the bush, shall we say. I'm just going to roam around these little streets of the Horizon Festival. Seem to be almost set up for some light drifting here, which is kind of cool. Now, my initial impressions are that this car, as much as I thought it was going to be a handful, it's actually really not. Well planted, those big tires. And I mean, putting her into the bush. The people are always saying that, oh, if you put a big, you know, a race tire on here, that it's difficult to drift with. And I find it's more difficult to drift with a crappy tire because, you know, you end up, your brakes just don't work. When you do end up having to hit the brakes, it's just, you just slide, right? Which is less than ideal for when you're trying to actually drive a car. I don't know why I decided to take this thing off-roading. Even though it's funny, man, I was on Alex's Instagram before doing this video, and I saw a video of him romping this thing on the beach, and I literally thought it was a Forza, like Horizon 3 video when I first saw it, down on the beach doing the donut and stuff. But no, it was real life Alex's car, and we are putting her into the cabbage as said. I'm going to try to pay just a little more attention to my driving as opposed to my storytelling here. You guys aren't here for the stories, are you? Let me know down in the comments section, man. Jeez. But yeah, third gear seems to be the money gear, even though you're getting just just a little bit less power than I would like. I guess we can make an adjustment here. Give us a little more acceleration, so hopefully we can be a little more, we can be a little higher in the RPM range in third gear when we're actually mid-drift there. Coming up on a little bit of traffic here. See if we can get around it. Ooh, see right there, if I didn't have race tires, we would have been off the road there. All right, here looks like a nice little turn here, no traffic. Yeah, see, third gear, still not a ton of power initially. Once you get going though, it's pretty good. Big e-brake coming into this turn. Ooh, taking her a little too hot there. I meant to do that. I meant to go this way, you know, 360 stuff. It's all in the, that's all in the name of the game here, folks. Ooh. Now this is honestly a really nice build. We did the Vandura drift build, I think a couple of weeks ago now, and I said that was a well-rounded drift build. But if you want a cool car that looks good and is not a van that's rusty, I mean this is a pretty dope little car. Now one thing I would change about it is maybe throw some cams on it, get just a little bit more power coming into these turns. Uphill, having a little bit of trouble keeping us sideways there, but nonetheless still a really nice, well-rounded car. Like I was saying, looks like we're coming back into the Horizon Festival here, which is good, because I want to do a little quarter-mile run here and see what this thing can do in the quarter-mile real quick. I don't know why, for some reason I really been into the drag racing aspect of it. I think it's cool because you can get in here. Now when you're online, it's not too bad. I've never really done much online drag racing. I have a few times with a couple of my friends, but we're just gonna jump into like whatever random races here. I'm not gonna set anything up like I did with the Nissan race, which if you guys haven't seen that video, the full out Nissan versus Nissan competition, make sure you guys go to the channel and check that out, man. We're gonna see how this thing can do. I'm thinking low 12s, high 11s here. 600 horsepower, it should do some damage. Taking her a little too much to redline there. Would have liked to shift a little bit earlier there, but we're still beating all the BMWs. Those Audis though, you can't beat that all-wheel drive. We're looking at an 11.4 right there. I'm gonna see if I can maybe do this one more time and shift a little bit better, but an 11.4 is very impressive. Got the shifts on point right there. We're right behind the Audis now. Looking at 213 kilometers an hour, which is pretty fast, and an 11.2. So I was way off. My mistake to all you BMW guys out there. This thing was actually crushing it in the quarter mile. Another reason that you want to have race tires, ladies and gentlemen, because if, you know, push does come to shove and you do have to race this car online, it's good to know that you can. But I'm thinking we're probably going to put an end to this video. It's looking like it's starting to rain here and it's getting a little bit ugly. But if you guys did enjoy this one, don't forget to smash that like button. If you guys want to see more and you're not subscribed yet, definitely do so, man. Let me know what you guys want to see down in the comments section as well, because we are taking requests, and it's, you know, we got to see, you know, we got to see what builds we can do for you guys, because it's cars like this that I would actually never know about if it wasn't for you guys, man. So I just want to say thank you guys for watching. As always, I am your boy D-Nolly, a.k.a. Don Squally. We gonna catch y'all mofos at the next one, man. Peace. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh.